General Chief of Staff Mike Milley called out Donald Trump for many things, including a time that a wheelchair-bound veteran, he told him after he came there, "Why do you bring people like this to the show? People don't want to see this." In other words, Trump just showed his inhumanity. So there are a whole lot of things that Mike Milley called out Trump for, and for that, Trump wants him, for all practical purposes, executed. But, in the recent book, Mike Milley said that he thinks at some time Trump may just try to arrest him. But he thinks that wouldn't occur because he doesn't think Trump can win. What's interesting is a conservative editor kind of admonished him. She has a very compelling statement that I think not only conservatives who want democracy to remain to hear, but a story that just about everyone thinking about, well, it can't happen here, even if we elect Trump again because we just don't like Biden. This is what could happen. I want you to listen to her because I think she nails it. And she nails it in a fashion that asks a question: what makes you believe it can't happen here? Check this out, and then we'll take it on the other side.
Amanda, your colleague Ian Basson said on this program something that has haunted me since the minute it came out of his lips. He said, and I think govern is too generous. I think he will rule as an autocrat would rule, but he wouldn't leave. He wouldn't be there for 4 years. He'd stay. What is your analysis of the recent public musings, very much in the character of a wannabe autocrat?
I think it's very easy to get caught up in the daily stories about what Trump threatens from day to day. And what is important is to fit it into a broader pattern. I mean, we often ask ourselves, how come Republicans aren't doing anything? A lot of it is enabling complicity. But I do think even among broad swath of the voters, there's this belief that this can't happen here. And so one of the things that we talk to a lot of experts at Protect Democracy is trying to translate how authoritarians gain power in other countries and what similarities we are seeing here. Because these things that Donald Trump is doing, they're not exclusive to him. This is how authoritarians operate. Like, we have a playbook. I encourage everyone to go read it. We talk about the 7 things, the tactics that they employ. They stoke violence. They corrupt elections. They politicize independent institutions. They spread disinformation. They quash dissent. And they marginalize vulnerable communities. And it's like every day I can look in the news and put those stories into a box for this checklist. And we've seen this happen in other countries. We've seen Orban do it. We've seen Putin do it. We've seen Ortega do it. And now we see it happening here. And so, we ask about okay, what should the news media do differently? The thing to understand about Trump is not just Trump. It is a movement, not a man. And so I think we need to be talking to all the people that support him. It's not just elected Republicans. It's a donor class. It's an activist media. It is the voters. And say, what are you doing differently with this information? I am delighted, thrilled that Mark Milley is speaking out and telling his story finally. But how many years did we have to wait to hear that story? And, again, I thank him for going to the Atlantic and doing this. But I am haunted by something that came at the end where he says, yes, I believe Trump would throw me in jail, but I don't think he'll win. I'm not sure why Mark Milley is so sure. If we are not talking to people and doing things differently than we did in 2016, why are you so confident in a different outcome? I mean, please remember, this is the 3rd time Donald Trump will get the presidential nomination from the Republican Party in 3 consecutive elections. That is not a mistake. It is not an accident. It is an affirmative endorsement. Unless those conditions change, I don't see a different outcome.
Now, Amanda is absolutely correct. And one has to wonder why, and not only Republicans are not taking the threat of Trump, not as Trump the individual, but the movement that's been generated with Trump. Because that is the real danger. The danger is not the man. The danger is that sense of power that has grown around a pretty evil movement. It's an autocratic movement. It's a movement that Trump leads right now, but it's a movement that has many heads. And all those heads will be right there ready to take over if or when Trump is there, but more specifically, or not.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.